Alright, here we go. Diving into our third series of the night. The morning if you're here in Australia, but the night in Latino America. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the Mexican Zerg player representing Timbers Esports. All of Los Macacos League of Legends players, Call of Duty players, and variety streamers on Twitch. It is JimRising, the Mexican Zerg. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the Peruvian Terran, El Peruano, Neo's unofficial brother, representing Unidos por el Vicio. It is Tavo. Tavito himself. Meanwhile, exclamation mark Funada Neo in the chat. Neo, ¿por qué? Why are you not here in this tournament? Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yes, Tavo is here. We want to get all the Terrans before they get knocked out. Let's be real. Tavo, he's a great player. He's been performing very well recently. I say recently, December, he popped off, mate. He was so close to qualifying for DreamHack Winter before that. But Tavo has also been on vacation. You know, because of the holidays, because of Christmas and the New Year, he wasn't as active on the ladder as he usually is. So, has he been practicing? Is he back to his old self, or is he still getting there in 2022? That is the question. And to be fair, with what I'm saying about Tavo, that applies to all players. To be fair, like, a lot of them took a bit of a break over the New Year's, you know, just having a bit of some chelas on the veranda. I don't know what I'm saying. But, you know, just having a bit of a break from the intense EPT season. Jim as well has been playing a lot of different games on stream. So because of that, you know, again, not the most in form or in shape is what I want to say, but they're here to prove me wrong. They're here to pop off, and we'll see how this goes. Meanwhile, the vetoes were a little bit interesting. We're here on Curious Minds, honestly a map that we don't get to see too often. So I'm happy to see that we're here. Meanwhile, Tavo has to be careful. He wants the drone! He gets the drone! Oh my god. He was playing with fire. He just threaded the needle through the minerals, dived on top of it, was able to get that one drone. And what I would normally say is that Tavo, he is here to deny the third base. But if you know anything about Jim, he delays his third by quite a bit. Typically, Zerg players get their third at around 30 supply. Jim usually gets his at around 35. He prioritizes his next wave of queens instead of his hatchery. He almost got another. Oh boy. But yes. Now we have 4 queens in total here for JimRising. Focusing on his drones, 8 more drones were produced. So again, he just waits a little bit longer. Just because this is happening doesn't mean that Jim is going to base all in. Again, usually he just does delay his third and takes it at a more safer time. And because of this, he basically doesn't play around with the likelihood of this Reaper delaying his third and messing up his build. He's like, you know what? I'm an old man. I don't have the micro to dance and avoid the Reaper and try and get an early third. Screw all of that. I'll just get mine at a later time, but at a secure time. Meanwhile, Hellions are about to rock up, and they They do get one tumor. Only one, though. We had a couple more on the way. Jim is able to push this, and meanwhile, across the map, Tavo is going for a third CC before Starport. Banshee's still on the way, but this is scouted by these Overlords. No Overlord speed required, but 2 Overlords dip in, and Jim confirms the production. Not just that, he also confirms the tech lab researching. What's also important is that, I don't know if you noticed, but this Overlord just like barely dipped in just to see that tech lab researching. So Jim knows, and Tavo doesn't necessarily know that Jim knows. Meanwhile, there we go, spores are already finishing up. Again, Jim is not the most efficient. He could have delayed the spores a little bit and lined it up with when the Banshee would show up, but he just wants it nonetheless to make sure that he is safe and secure. And it's just how JimRising does. It's how he do. Just playing it all safe. There we go. Sorry, Spore even there at the third base. Queens are here to force away all these Hellions. Oh, do we get a surround? Up, up. The Lings, it looks like they may get a surround on the Reaper, and they just barely do get the Reaper. Ooh. Chase it all the way down, but they don't get the Hellions. Speaking of Hellions, that's a lot of Hellions. 8 Hellions in total here, alongside 2 Banshees. Looking to go for some multi-prong attack, looking to try and get some drone kills. And JimRising has to be a little bit careful. He does have a lot of creep spread, but that's here in the center of the map. Not too much on the right-hand side. So there's definitely a possibility for Hellions to dip on in into that third base and get into that mineral line. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Jim, he's already got his lair on the way. We have a macro hatch. It does seem like he wants to go Lingbane into Muta. I'm a little bit surprised that we still don't see a Baneling nest. He is taking all of his gases, though. I say all. He is taking all 4 of his gases. So he is setting himself up for a Spire, and this makes a lot of sense just because if you don't know Jim, Jim is known as the Muta King in Latin America. I say in Latin America, in the world, Jim is the Muta King. And, mate, he can make some magic happen with those Mutas. Meanwhile, the Banshees do finally get across the map. They get 2 drone kills, and they force the attention of the Queens. Meanwhile, the Hellions try to dip into third base, but the Lings are already here ready and waiting, and the Hellions don't get into the mineral line. Jim is just in position. He's just too good for that. Meanwhile, there's a Baneling nest. There is Baneling speed on the way. Still no Spire. I'm a little bit surprised by that, just because the lair is already taken. Hellions, they keep trying to dip on in, but there are plenty of Lings in position, and oh my god! One of the Banshees gets sniped out of the sky. The other is almost dead as well. Like, these Banshees, they got 1 kill each. That's it. That's all they got. The Banshees in the end not paying for themselves. At least they did kind of scout. He was able to confirm the lair, the macro hatch, the upgrades. He was able to see everything other than the Spire. But you can assume the Spire just because, honestly, you're playing Jim. Like, metagaming can come into play here. I would hope so. I would hope we don't get a repeat of Yanji versus the Zerglord, where mutas get across the map and they just end the game, you know? And I doubt we're going to see that. As we're getting a very different game here. Fireball does come out. 1-1 is already done. Armory about to finish up a little bit late, so the 2-2 timing is going to be a little bit delayed as a result, but it's still going to be there, just, you know, not as quickly as it otherwise could have been. Drop his head towards the main base. There is an Overlord in position though, so I mean, this should be scouted. We even have a couple of safety spores here as well. I love it. Jim, he's ready. And Tavo doesn't want to go in. God, meanwhile, the Lingbane is about to meet with that drop of Tavo. Up. Forced to pick up, forced to potentially go into the main base. No, it doesn't go for it again. Just flirting with it, dancing with death a little bit. Meanwhile, we still don't see any mutas. Still just a pure focus on nothing but Lingbane at the moment. Jim, he's backing up some gas, maybe waiting for that muta switch. There we go. 4 mutas are finally on the way, and with those mutas, he'll finally be able to deal with these and hunt down these drops. Meanwhile, Tavo, he's getting ready to push. What's important is that Tavo, he kept all those Hellions alive from earlier. He lost his Reaper, but that's it. Look at the units lost. So now all those Hellions, 6 of them, 7 of them, morphed into Hellbats to help defend against those Banelings. This is going to be a very strong push. We got 3 tanks. Oh god, the Lingbane doesn't push in. Just waiting for another round. Is he just going to give up this base? At the same time, a double drop into the natural. This will be cleaned up as there are mutas. Ooh, the Medivac does get sniped out of the sky, but it looks like this hatchery is going to be focused down. The Lingbane wants to try and save it, but it's a little bit too late. The hatchery does fall, but the surround! The Lingbane comes in and oh my god! No, Tavo, please! Oh, he was doing so well, but he completely got surrounded and he's going to lose everything. He wasn't paying attention, maybe a little bit too focused on this drop. Sure, the drop gets 6 drone kills, but that doesn't even matter. Oh my god, the drop gets sniped by the Spore. Not like this. The full surround was absolutely insane. It was one of those things where it didn't even matter that he had Hellbats. There was just far too much Lingbane. Meanwhile, Tavo, he's here again to deny that base, but he just doesn't have the supply. Lane Bane comes in once again. Tank gets focused on. The Marines stand strong. There actually weren't enough Banelings, but here come the rest. Jim, he's always got Banelings ready for this. Target fire is okay, but in the end it wasn't enough. Forces a hot pickup. Yo, but here comes the rally. Here comes the reinforcements. Tavo, he wants to try and brute force this. He wants to try and overwhelm Jim. And forces a Link Bane fight off of Creek. The split this time. Oh my god, the splits are there, papi. Tavo, he's just gonna keep on going. And Jim doesn't have anything ready. Banelings are only just now starting. And honestly, they're vulnerable. If Tavo closes the distance, and if he denies all these Banelings, that's gonna be game. Come on, let's go. He does it. He targets down all the Banelings. Are any gonna finish? None. Oh my god. GG. GG. Well played, Tavo. Despite getting his entire army reset, didn't stop. He didn't pull off the gas. He just kept on going, kept rallying across the map. And Jim, I'm sure he just wasn't expecting. He was like, oh my god. The Marines, they just don't stop. And he had Banelings ready for the second wave, but what about the third wave? What about the fourth wave? Like, he just didn't have it. Even though he had a macro hatch, he just couldn't spend his army and get an army ready in time. Ugh. I'm watching the stream. GG. I just saw Tavo's army get swallowed up, mate. And with that, we're getting ready to dive into game number 2. Oh. It's one of those things where I wasn't paying attention, but it's very possible that Jim was, I was like, was he missing injects? It looked like for the most part he was spending his money, and his engagements were looking pretty good as well. Just looked like just didn't have enough Ling Bane. And maybe fighting a little bit too prematurely. Like, he was expanding towards the north. He was taking his 4th base up there instead. Like, mate, just give up on that other 4th location. I do think that when like the pendulum swung in favor of Tavo was when Jim fought off creep. Like, when he went with his Ling Bane off of creep, and when we saw that beautiful split from Tavo, like, it was all like, it suddenly boom, just like that. It's all in Tavo's favor. Like, Jim just got a little bit too aggressive there. And that's also the power of curious minds. Curious minds, mate. You can make that parade push happen. Oh. Oh god. Meanwhile, here we go. Getting ready to dive into game number 2. And what I'm excited about is that, mate, Tavo still got it. Again, for those wondering, Tavo is an underrated player. To be fair, it's difficult to break out as a Terran player in Latin America because there are players like Special and Kelazur who kind of overshadow him. I would even say below Special and Kelazur, you've got Sinner and Chaos Fate. You've got Sinner and Chaos Fate also still above Tavo. But just under them, you have Tavo. And he has been getting better and better. And I do remember last year, Chaos Fate took Tavo under his wing, you know, and just kind of showed him his ways. And there was suddenly like a spike in skill for Tavo. And suddenly he was getting good. As harsh as that sounds, like, he was suddenly getting good, and it was exciting to see. And that was when I mentioned it earlier, but Tavo was so close to qualifying for DreamHack. I recommend watching the VODs. All of the DreamHack winter VODs are on our YouTube channel. And Tavo in the qualifiers, he made it to 2 qualifying matches, like day after day. He was there. He was so close, but just barely he wasn't edging it out to qualify for the main event. It was such a shame. It was supposed to be his season, and I'm telling you, look at him for 2023. He is the breakout player that you want to be looking at getting into the new DreamHack season. But here we go. We are diving into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE. We have the Mexican Zerg player. He's been streaming a lot. Has he been playing a lot? We're about to find out. Representing Timbers Esports, it is JimRising. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Terran Hope in today's Sentimiento Latino. I believe he is the last remaining Terran player in the entire tournament, or the last remaining notable Terran player. I know Slayer Marine is there as well. Representing Unidos por el Vicio, it is Tavo. Oh my god. Currently up in this series, and this is huge because JimRising is last week's Copa Hyperion champion. JimRising, man, he doesn't play. Like, he doesn't play, but you know, he's a very serious player. He's made it to DreamHack before, he's beaten Special before, he's beaten Champ before. JimRising is a terrifying opponent, but the new blood on the scene is finally kind of flourishing and blooming. You know, Tavo has been playing very, very consistently for the past year, and it's all kind of coming to fruition. Like, he has been improving week after week, month after month, and that's why that's one of my favorite things about casting all these weekly tournaments, is that we get to see them coming. We saw Trigger before his DreamHack run. Fun fact, he was playing every single week in Battle of the Americas. We saw Patty Mac before his DreamHack run. We're seeing Tavo here as well. We were seeing Ryu before his... Remember Ryu last season? He got top 4 in DreamHack, and he was popping off in Sentimiento Latinos and Battle of the Americas. Like, because of all these weekly tournaments, we get to see all these Latin American and North American players slowly rise up, and it eventually pays off, or sometimes it pays off in DreamHack. Is Tavo going to be the next one? I would hope so. I would hope so. Obviously, we still have many months before DreamHack Summer. So it's about, can Tavo keep up? Can he keep improving? Can he keep performing like this? Can he keep motivated to keep practicing? Like, that's also another big thing. Motivation can really hinder a lot of players. We'll find out. The first step here in 2022, can he start off strong in the year and take down Jim? Like, that's an accomplishment. Not even necessarily winning the tournament, but taking down a player like Jim, a DreamHack player, a veteran of the scene, would be huge. But we'll see if he can do so. So far, openers are the exact same as game number 1. He is going for that 3rd CC before Starport. Into said Starport, into it looks like Banshees, as we do have a tech lab on that Rax. So Tavo is just doing his stock standard build so far. And this is where I now start to worry a little bit. Oh, as Tavo, did he see? No, he didn't see. Oh, okay. Let's go. Jim El Macaco is going full ape. Let's go. Jim is going 2 base lair. And the Reaper missed it. The Reaper didn't see. And now everything's coming back home. Lings, they get across the map. They're going to get a couple of worker kills. What's important is that they are keeping these... Oh my god, they keep it in they get into the main base. Oh my god. Eventually they get cleaned up, but again, Jim is just buying time because Tavo, he's doing, again, the exact same build that he did last time. Jim, with a very fast lair, with all 4 gases, he does have a Baneling Nest, so I'm not convinced, but it looks like he wants to go straight into a Spire. We'll see. Hellions do try to dip in towards that natural base. They do get denied. There it is. Spire gets thrown down. Essentially 2 base Muta. I know there's a 3rd hatchery, but you know, let me say it. 2 base Muta. Let's go. Oh no, the Hellions, they get cornered as well. And this is terrifying. It looks like some of the Hellions are going to escape. No, never mind. They're all going to get taken out. They do trade as efficiently as possible. But again, he's just in the dark. Like, Tavo just doesn't know. And these mutas are going to pop off because what are these Banshees going to do? If you remember, again, if it's the same build as last time, there were 8 Hellions? 4 of them did just get killed, but like the anti-air is kind of delayed. There's no NG Bay. The NG Bays are being thrown down now. Like, the mutas are going to be terrifying. This needs to get scouted, is what I'm saying. The problem is that Tavo is waiting for his second Banshee. So eventually he's going to go across the map with his Banshees, and eventually he's going to scout this, but will it be too late? Again, Jim is being so much more aggressive this game compared to last. Man, he's upset. He's angry. He's like, mate, you took game one? Nah, mate, let's go. Oh, God. Alright, here we go. Banshees are going across the map to do what they can do. Oh, God. And the mutas are on the way, so I imagine the mutas are going to run into the Banshees and clean them up, so they will give Tavo a little bit of a heads up to respond to this. But I'm still a little bit concerned. Meanwhile, there's no Spore! Oh my God, there's no Spore, there's no detection. The Banshees are dealing an insane amount of damage. I was focusing so much on the mutas when I should have been focusing on the Banshees, as they get every single drone that was at the third base. Mutas are about to show up, and they do reveal themselves, and this will give time for missile turrets to be thrown down. This is going so well for Tavo. Like, these mutas were meant to be the ace in the hole for Jim, but they don't even clean up the Banshees. There just wasn't any detection, and instead of sticking around, JimRising knows that he's like on a timer right now. He knows that he needs to do damage ASAP, but by the time he gets across the map, the missile turret is already done. We do have Lings. Oh no, never mind. Oh God, no, the Queen, the Botas. There's already Marines. Oh my God, Tavo, he's defending so well. And a lot of this is because Jimmy didn't scout himself. Like, he was a little bit too arrogant, I would say, when it comes to his play. He just didn't even care. Banelings are rolling in. Uh-oh. 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 Tavo, please. Tavo. Tavo, no. Oh, God. No. The Banelings do pop off. They take out the missile turret as well as the mules and the SCVs. Oh, my God. 17 SCVs go down. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, puppy, not like this. You were defending so well, and suddenly, in one moment, just like that, StarCraft, an entire mineral line evaporates to 4 Banelings. Feels bad, man. But Tavo, his macro hasn't ended. He's not all in, but because of all the economic damage he was dealt, and because he still doesn't have these missile turrets, like, the mutas are kind of forcing him all in, and now he's here across the map. But there's Ling Bane. Oh, that's Smipper, no! No, Tavo, please! Oh God, he notices, but he reacts a little bit too late. He loses the majority of his army. He still has a little bit left over. Maybe he can break into the third base. At the same time, the mutas are still going uncontested. They take out every single worker at that third base. There are Marines to stop them from getting into the main, but it is not going to be enough. Meanwhile, at the same time, Marines do get into the third base. Oh my God. 2 Overlords get focused down. 9 drones as well. This damage is keeping Tavo in this. Oh my God, where are the Banelings? It's just pure Ling, question mark? These tanks, they should have been sent home. They're going to get taken out by the mutas. The Marines are still dealing a lot of damage. 1-1 is done. Finally, the Banelings are coming in. Finally, this gets cleaned up. But there was no mining. There's no 4th base. Like, this crippled Jim's economy. It again, kind of keeps things even. As we see the graph swing from one end to the other. And now here comes wave 2. And this is what Tavo is known for. The parade push. A couple of reinforcements are getting taken out. Very smart play here by Jim. He's even maybe able to take out a medevac. Oh, so close. But here comes the second wave. Okay, this time we need better splits. This time we need a better response. Tavo, you gotta be paying attention, buddy. Here we go. The fireball is here. The Ling Bane is getting ready to pull the trigger. Oh God, that hatchery, it's getting lower and lower. Again, JimRising doesn't have a 4th hatchery behind this. He needs to defend. He needs to hold here and now. He's getting ready. He's buying his time. He's getting a little bit more Ling Bane, a couple more mutas as best he can. Oh, decent connection already. Oh God, Tavo, please. He does pull back. And the Ling Bane is rolling on forward. Can he connect with the Marines? He connects a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. The Marines do target down as many of those mutas as possible, but it looks like the mutas are just barely enough, actually, to clean up the entire army. Oh, that was so close. But here comes the rally, the parade push. Banelings, we've been here before. They're just now started. They're just now morphing in. And that means that these Marines can keep on pushing and get on top of the hatchery. Oh, they go for the Banelings instead. Bold move, buddy. Bold move. Is it going to pay off? Oh, no. Oh, Very hot pickup. The mutas did go and catch some reinforcements. Oh my god, he's forced to drop his marines. This game is so scrappy. Every single baneling was used up. We have a couple more marines on the way, but it's not going to be enough. All the medevacs are getting focused down. Yo, is this enough though? 2+2 is done. The Thor comes in. The Thor is here. Oh god. The Thor is trying his best, but it is not. Oh god, it's not enough. Jim, he doesn't just defend, he forces this all the way back home. Oh my god. But still no 4th base. So, like, honestly, Tavo has the better economy. Tavo has equal workers plus mules. Look at that massive mule hammer there at that 3rd base. Tavo has the economic advantage. Jim is finally taking a 4th, but this hatchery is low. Like, if Tavo is allowed to go for a counterattack, he will kill that base. This hatchery will die. Meanwhile, another link run by. Baneling on the way. Uh-oh. Tavo, please. Tavo, respond. Okay. Marines are here. Thank God. Jim, ambitious move. Baneling's being morphed in the mineral line. Bold move, buddy. Bold move. Oh, so a couple more shots are going off. The muta count is honestly getting pretty high. Oh, they will be able to focus on one of these missile turrets. Almost gets a 2nd. Almost. Yo, tunneling claws. Can he get it? Thor comes in. Mate, these are too many muta losses. A lot of mutas are falling. Like, what's that? 3, 4, 5 mutas? Jim, you cannot... Mate, mutas are expensive. You cannot afford to lose mutas like this. Yo, and Tavo's getting ready. What's he missing? This is pure marine. This is such a fragile army. We need widow mines. We need as many mines as possible, mate. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Tavo's trying to go for a bit of a drop here. Jim will catch it. Meanwhile, Jim's 4th base is now finally up and running. Like, yo, Jim is getting back into this economically. Like, Tavo is stabilizing, but so is Jim. What I will say, though, is that eventually Tavo will push out. And that's when a lot of things are going to come down to the widow mine shots. Tunneling claws finally finished up. Let's go. Tavo, he's getting ready for wave... What is this? Wave 3? Wave 4? Round 4. Let's go. And again, like, I'm so worried about this hatchery. Like, if he gets anywhere near this hatchery, he's gonna sneeze on it, and the hatchery's just gonna topple over me. No, the mutas! No! No, don't fight! No! Every single muta goes down. Jimbo, please! He was A-moving his mutas to take down the drop, and you know what? He will kill the drop, but in comes the bio army. Widowmine shots are going off. Baneling connections going off. GG gets called! And Tavo takes game 2, and the series he 2-0's Jim! Ah! GG, well played. Oh no. To be fair, Jim losing all his mutas wasn't necessarily the game losing moment, but like, it didn't help. Like, even if Jim had his entire army alive there at the end, even then, I don't know if he would have been able to defend against that push. Like, with all those widow mines, with the Thors, with the double drop, like, his mutas needed to be away from the army because of the double drop coming into the main base. But that was unfortunate for Jim. That was amazing for Tavo to catch all of those mutas completely unaware. He killed like 10 mutas there, the vast majority of those mutas. And GG, well played. Tavo takes down one of the best Zerg players in all of Latin America. GG. Oh my god. Wow. Just I need a drink after that. Oh my god. It's one of those things where the veterans are veterans, you know, they're not in their prime forever, and now you gotta make way for the new blood. Congratulations, Tavo. He moves on to the quarterfinals to face Slayer Marine. Whew. Meanwhile, we have some other updates. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the bracket. You know what? We can have a look together as one. There we go. We can see Tavo's going to move forward there with that 2-0. Shakti is currently up against Paco Mike in a PvP. Could go either way. It's one of those things where Shakti is a great player and Paco Mike, his worst matchup is PvP. Regardless, the best Protoss is going to come out there. They are the 2 best Protoss in all of Latin America, so only fitting that they would face each other. Meanwhile, if we scroll a little bit lower, we have Ryu still waiting for his next series ? That doesn't look correct to me. Hopefully Darking can get on that. Meanwhile, a very surprising result if we scroll all the way down. The Zerg Lord lost. Eon with the upset 2-1 the Zerg Lord. Oh my god. The Zerg Lord, I would say 100% the favorite in that series, but in a ZvZ, Eon I guess can make something happen. I know Eon is very aggressive in ZvZs, and for him to take down the Zerg Lord, very, very impressive result there by Eon. Just like how Tavo took down JimRising, Eon took down the Zerg Lord. We're having a bit of a shift of the old guard, you know, of who's the best right now. So very, very exciting to see Eon in the semifinals.